that I switch. When they see me, they just give me shit. Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not tryna be a dick, but what the fuck is this? My ambitions got you motherfuckers looking at me with a twist. Like I'm supposed to be at two places at once, ventriloquist.
What recording equipment did you use, and what was the room like that you recorded in?
Untreated room.
Okay.
I have a Chaotica eyeball on top of my my condenser microphone. It's a Rode NT1A. Recorded it with the Scarlett 2i2 and a PreSonus studio channel. I use light compression, light EQ on it. Just about like no EQ on it. I kind of use it just for the compression.
As far as the mix goes, what is it exactly that you feel like you struggle with? Like what it is you wanted to really get fixed with the song?
And I go through all these master tests, and I take it out to the car, take it to other playback systems, and it'll sound good in the studio, but it'll sound like crap this way. It'll sound like crap this way. There's a part of my vocal that I don't feel like I can always tame. Sometimes my S's are too sibilant, more of a raspy sound that sometimes it can be too harsh on the microphone.
Okay.
I usually record it about 3-4 inches away. I go through a phase of create a new formula that I want to go with for the whole entire, project to sound like it has a consistency to it.
Right.
And that's why it's kind of all over the place between all the plugins.
One thing I noticed with this was I think it could get a little bit more clear overall. There's like a little bit of like a muffled sound to it. So when I do go in and do some changes, I'm going to try to bring that out and brighten it up a bit. Here was the original mix that was sent over.
Think that I switch. When they see me, they just give me shit. Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not friends and family, really think that I switch. When they see me, they just give me shit. Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not tryna be a dick, but what the fuck?
I know in our first video we were talking about it might sound good in the studio, but like in a car or something like that, it didn't sound as good. I always use referencing for that, to where I don't really need to check in the car as often anymore because of referencing. So if you just have a song that you know sounds good in the car, then you could balance your mix to sound the same as that one. So you'll know your song's going to sound good in the car as well. So that's the approach I always take on it. And it's like I just went out to the car before we jumped on here to double check what this mix sounds like, and it sounds good in a car. Another thing I did, which was a little different, is I actually referenced an acapella. So it was a Tech 9 acapella for his song See Me, and it has Wiz Khalifa on it as well. So I wanted to just show that process because that helped a lot with shaping your vocals. Like at first I don't listen to anything. I just start from scratch and mix the vocal. And then to try to get more of that commercial sound, then I'll start listening to other stuff. And this is the first time I really dove in on an acapella to really balance it out.
People saying, why so many changes? Why so many watches? Why so many chains? I'm mixing kush with all
fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not tryna be a dick, but what the fuck is this? My ambitions got you mother
with a mission. You know it, I'ma get it when I dip into it. I get through it, I've been a fighter with a vision.
You can is what I'm not. Pause and stop, don't get molly wop.
So I was going for a similar type of sound. So a similar type of reverb, a similar type of highs pushed and controlled. You could hear like the difference between Tech and Wiz. Wiz Khalifa's part has more sibilance in it. Tech 9 not as much. So even in the same song, it just depends on the artist. I was able to control yours pretty well in the song. I'm using 3 de-essers on your vocal, but they're all in like different ways. So we'll jump through that chain right now. So it started off just with EQ here.
Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip.
So I really wanted to control that low end because you could hear that like low push. You mentioned in the first video that you're around like 3 to 4 inches from the mic when you do it?
Yeah, about 3 to 4, depends.
You have a pop filter in between you and the mic as well?
Yes, I got a Chaotica eyeball.
All right, so like with this one, if I heard the artist doing this, I would just try out maybe doing like 8 inches from the mic just to see if that helps with that low end buildup. But that's the only thing I noticed there. We can EQ it out, but I did notice even after doing a bunch of EQ and everything, there were still like some plosives that I just couldn't get out without killing all of the lows on the vocals. So that's where it's like maybe stepping a little bit further back from the mic can help that section of it, so you're not trying to fix it so much in post. All of these sections, it's just stuff that built up that I felt like would sound better if they're brought down. And then the sibilance, this is the first section of trying to hit the sibilance was with dynamic EQ and bringing it down there. But let's just real quick listen to each section here.
Friends and family really think cause he got us on the fame. Friends and fam. That's the fame making my. What the fuck is this, mom? Be at two places at once, ventriloquist.
Just those frequencies that had those weird buildups going on. All right, and then the first instance of de-essing. This is just a standard like split band from 5.5 all the way up.
Friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got.
The second de-esser, I'm going from 6.1 to about 16K, so a little bit more narrow.
Friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame.
All right, so you can start hearing the sibilants getting really controlled. And then the next EQ here, that low end part, what I was talking about, that plosive part, that's all right here. And this is what it was taking out. So you hear that, like, there's this one little section in the vocal that it stands out even more. So I really dipped it out here. And then that same part that we were talking about on the other EQ, hit it again. Jumping into a compressor. I wanted to do fast attack and then like a medium release on this one. And I think I'm hitting it fairly hard. I'm only doing one compressor on this vocal chain.
Friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip.
Thicker type of sound to it a bit, and just controls the dynamic. Now into shaping the sound to try to match more of that acapella that I was referencing. So I'm dipping out just sections that stood out to me that were not in the acapella that I was referencing. So I wanted to kind of match it more. And I also noticed right here was a little bit of a buildup on the top end, so I just wanted to cut it a little bit off. And then now I'm starting to go into the enhancing part of it and try to push things to fit those reference tracks that I was talking about. And I noticed that your vocal really lacked in the 4K region. So instead of pushing the top end to make it bright, I'm pushing at 4K to make it kind of stand out more in the mids.
On this music shit, I'm not trying to be a dick, but what the fuck is this? My ambitions got you motherfuckers looking at me with a twist.
I usually try to boost the top end, and I always felt like my top end wasn't really where I needed the boost, and I couldn't tell the correct frequency that I wanted to.
It kind of brings out that clarity in the vocal without any harshness because it's not on the top end.
Right.
All right, and then talking about top end, I did want to throw in an exciter, which is going to push all of that top end, but it's kind of shaping the sound. So like, I like this more as like a tone control instead of pushing highs necessarily. That's why I always or almost always DS after using this, because I don't want the harshness, but I do want that tonal difference. So,
right. Yeah, when I was using it, I was like not having fun with that.
All right, so I'll have it off and then I'll just turn it on and you'll hear the tonal change, but you will hear sibilants because the de-esser's not on yet.
Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a dick, but what the fuck is this? My ambitions got you motherfuckers looking at me with a twist. Like I'm supposed to be at two places at once.
So that changed the tonal character of the vocal. And then just to tame that final extra high end that's brought in there, one more de-esser.
Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a dick, but what the fuck is this?
Okay, so that is it on the vocal chain. As far as the effects, I just left the delay that you had in there. You had Echo Boy in here. And the only thing I changed was I put the mix to 100% wet so we don't have any of the dry signal coming through. And I left everything else the same. And then on the reverb, I changed it. You had deverb on there. I ended up going with Seventh Heaven. I did a short reverb on it, so less than a second, because I didn't want a really loud. Your vocal's so fast that any long tail vocal or reverb is just going to get all meshed in there. And for this one, I was also doing that referencing to that acapella and trying to get a similar reverb type of sound. Here's before and after reverb.
Cause he got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a dick, but what the fuck is this? My ambitions got you motherfuckers looking at me with a twist. Like I'm...
So it's like, it's not a huge long reverb or anything. It just gives it a sound like it's in a room. So, and then your delays that you had in there for the movement throughout as well. So here's without the plugins, and then I'll put them on and then talk about it. Alright, so you could hear it slowly open up and get bigger. So the very first thing is you already had this on there, just a little bit of a boost on the sides, so I left that there. For the EQ, I did quite a bit of change. This was listening to reference tracks and trying to match it. I felt like the top end was a little too heavy, or too bright, so I rolled it off. This, I believe, was the snare that I really wanted to come through. That snare, now it's coming through the mix. And then I just shelved off from 20 hertz down, just so we don't get any extra rumble coming through on our limiter. I didn't really like the hi-hats being so present in the beat, so I used a multiband compressor on the top end to tame that. The hi-hats were like right around 9K, so I put my multiband right around 9K and up just to tame that top end there. So not a huge difference, but it is taming that top end as it comes through. And because it's a multiband compressor compared to like an EQ, you're not always killing it. You're only killing it when it's coming through too hot. The EQ here, again, a 4K push. I was worried at first that this might get in the way of the vocals because I did a 4K push on your vocals, but it actually ended up working out. This is just a go-to for me. I love how it sounds. It just pushes everything forward.
Friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a dick, but what the
whenever I want something more forward in the mix, I throw this saturation on it and it just like pushes it forward. It also takes care of my like rounding some of those like transients of like the kick drum, the snares, all that stuff. So I am able to push it a lot harder. And when we get to the last plugin, I'll show you how loud it actually is. So this one is just EQ for the low end, dipping at 20 hertz. 20 hertz was just still coming through a little bit too much, so brought that down.
friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a dick, but
not a huge change, but gives it a little bit more clarity. This one's for brightness, 8K push, but with a attenuation at 20K as well.
friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a
This one, there's a little bit of a rumble going on compared to the reference track.
friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to.
Alright, and then that also helps me when it comes to my limiters to be able to push stuff harder because now the low end isn't as rumbly. This is a limiter that I prefer. It just sounds good. I'm able to control things.
Friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this.
So you see I'm not crushing anything. It's like just hitting the limiter a little bit here. And but I'm able to get a lot of loudness from it, especially using this XL feature because that pushes those harmonics in there and makes it just sound louder. I'm doing true peak limiting, but now we'll be able to see the LUFS.
Friends and family really think that I switch. When they say me, they just give me shit. Cause they got us on the fame, making money moves to get a grip. I'm just focused on this music shit. I'm not trying to be a dick, but what the fuck is this? My ambitions got you motherfuckers looking at me with a twist.
So you can see we're averaging around about -7. And I'm barely getting like -0.1 on reductions on the true peak limiting. So we're not like killing it or anything. It's just the dynamics of this song particularly, I was able to push it a little bit harder and get it louder. One thing I didn't touch on was all of the hook section here. This one I did a little bit different. I spent a lot of time getting this vocal chain for the verse to sound good. And then I was like, okay, this is a good chain. I created an aux, dragged all of those plugins onto the aux, and then instead of doing it each individual track for the hook, I just sent the entire hook into that aux. All of that's going into here, and then I just tweaked it so it fits these levels that are coming into it, especially like on the compressor.
Shit, you're doing a good service right here.
Glad you like it, man. All right, peace.
Take care, bro.
Thank you for watching Raw Fix My Mix. If you would like to be featured on an episode of Raw Fix My Mix, please click on that link below and sign up for your chance to win a spot. Also, if you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.